Welcome to the channel.
Hey, I'm Zibin Rohit. Today we are starting General Anatomy second lecture. In this, we will be covering anatomical terminologies. Before going into anatomical terminologies, I want you to think what can this term anatomical terminology means. And no Google search, please. I'm watching you. Till then, let's quickly revise our last lecture.
You have 10 seconds to answer these two questions that are what is anatomy and how it can be approached. Remember, we studied them in our last lecture.
Nine, eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
I know most of you have answered correctly, or at least guessed correct answer. And those who have not answered them, that means you have not watched the last lecture or you are not revising it very. Don't worry, see it.
Anatomy includes those structures that can be seen grossly without the aid of magnification and microscopically with the aid of magnification. So the structure which can be seen grossly comes into the gross anatomy, and the structures which can be seen microscopically, that comes into the histology. So a basic definition for both like for the gross anatomy will be that it is the study of structures of human body which can be seen microscopically, and for histology it will be that it is a study of body structures which can be seen microscopically.
Now, how it can be approached. Anatomy can be studied by two approaches that are systemic approach and regional approach. But we approach anatomy with a regional approach because in regional approach we have divided body into different regions. So when we study these region, we can study all the aspects of that region that are the nerves, muscles, bones, the arteries and veins, lymphatic system, all at once, and it will be easy for us to remember the things and correlate the things. Therefore we go with the regional approach. But if you go with this systemic approach, in that the problem will be like, we if for let's take an example. If we are studying muscular system, then we'll study all the muscles at once. So that will become very complicated for us to remember. Therefore we go with regional approach. Now let's see our body parts.
Our body comprises of head. This you can see this cmac cursor. This is a head. Then our head includes the skull and face. This is face, and there we have this is a skull. Okay, so face and skull is included in head. Then we have neck. See, this is the neck. We all know where is neck, but then also this is neck. Then we have upper limb. This is our upper limb, right? Then our upper limb comprises of shoulder, arm, elbow. Then this is a forearm. Then we have wrist and hand. Okay, so now hand has two surfaces. This frontal surface is known as palmar surface, and this
The posterior surface known as dorsal surface.
front part of the body is known as anterior, and the back part of the body, this one, is known as posterior. Okay, now let's move to the trunk. So this is a trunk, and a trunk comprises of thorax. This is a thorax region. Then we have our abdomen, this abdomen region, and then we have our pelvis region. This is our pelvis region. Okay, then we come on we come on lower limb. So this is our lower limb, and our lower limb comprises of the hip region. This is a hip region. Then we have thigh. This is the thigh region. Then we have knee. This is knee region. You can see anteriorly and posteriorly both sides. This is a knee region. Okay. Then we have leg. Now here you will realize that uh, you are you have come into a medical profession, because in a layman's term we say our whole lower limb as leg, but from now the leg for you will be the region above your ankle and below your knee. This region is known as your leg. Okay, this region. Then we have our ankle. So this is our ankle, this one right here, this region is our ankle. Then we have our foot. Now foot also has two surfaces. This surface which can be seen uh, here, like see here, this is the dorsal surface, the upper surface of our foot, and the lower surface like this.
This is the plantar surface of the foot. Do you remember that in the start of the lecture I asked you a question, that what do you mean by anatomical terminologies?
Anatomical terminologies are terms for basic foundation of medical sciences. This is a normal definition. If someone asks you to define it, you can say this one line definition to them. Okay. So now anatomical terminology comprises of comprises the anatomical position, anatomical planes, and terms of relationship. We'll be only looking quickly the anatomical position and anatomical planes in this lecture. Okay, and in the next lecture we'll be covering terms of relationships all at once. So now let's start with anatomical position. So what is anatomical position, and what is its importance? So anatomical position is an imaginary position. You'll find no one standing in an anatomical position on the streets or somewhere just like that. It's a standard position of the body used to describe the location of structures. Okay, so this was the standard definition of anatomical position. And that is, it's the standard position of the body used to describe the location of different structures. Okay, so
Let's see its importance, then we'll see anatomical position.
anatomical position is of great importance. So, as when you are sitting, or you are sleeping or walking or doing any activities which we do in our daily life, so the interrelationship between our body's parts keeps changing with the different activities we do. Okay, so that's why this anatomical positions comes in picture, because it is a fixed position, so it becomes easy for the physician to diagnose the problem. So whenever you are seeing a patient or a cadaver, you always have to imagine it in the anatomical position and then have to diagnose or study on that. Okay, so this anatomical position is worldwide expected. So even if the patient or the cadaver is lying in a prone position, or and a prone, if you don't know the prone position is the when a patient or a cadaver is lying on the bed upside down. Okay, so he's the patient or the cadaver is lying in any position, it doesn't matter, you always have to imagine it in the anatomical position, because it will make you easy to remember.
Now, how to stand in anatomical position.
And it is standing in an anatomical position. So anatomical position is the body stands upright, as you can see in this image, like body standing upright, then eyes looking forward. Now here in this illustration do not have eyes, but you can see the holes, like the optical holes. Okay, in this position, see my cursor, this This is a male body, and this is standing in an anatomical position. So in anatomical position, body stands upright, as you can see. Eyes looking forward. See, eyes looking forward directly into your eyes. Upper limb hanging sideways. As you can see, upper limbs are hanging sideways. The palm facing anterior. Now you know what is anterior and what is posterior. Okay, so and then lower lip are parallel to each other, and the feet directed anteriorly. Let's see, feet directed anteriorly. Okay. Anatomical planes also in same way plays crucial role for physicians. So now let's check what are anatomical planes and their importance. So this anatomical planes are imaginary flat surfaces that are passing through the body. Remember, they are imaginary. And now why they are important? Why we use them? So they are used to describe this interrelation of body structures. Now how they are used to describe interrelation of body structure, you will get it in the next lecture, when we'll study terms of relationship. So, okay, for now just remember this. Okay, but now let's move forward. But before moving forward, do you realize that you are enjoying the lecture and not yet subscribed? Please hit that subscribe button. No, it will be worth of all the hard work that's been put for making these videos. Okay, now let's come back to the anatomical planes. So there are four types of planes. Basically, there are three types, but I'll be telling you four types and one more extra. Like that is not that important, but for just a general knowledge, I'll tell you. Okay, so there are basically three types of body planes. So, but I'll tell you the fourth one just because in the next lecture when we'll see in terms of relationship, at that time it will be easy for you to relate to, because when we'll study that terms medial and lateral, at that time it will be easy for you to understand that where we point exactly medial and where we say that this structure is lateral. Okay, so now let's see the four types of planes.
So these are the four types of planes that are median plane, sagittal plane, coronal plane, and transverse.
A plane which divides the sagittal plane, which divides body into two equal halves vertically, that is known as the median plane. Now, but if the plane is divided body into two unequal halves, like vertically into two unequal halves, then that plane is known as the sagittal plane. Like for example, take if a plane is passing just from here to here, dividing the body and here to here, then that will be known as the sagittal plane. Okay. But don't worry, you have to just simply remember that if a sagittal plane passes and divides body into two equal parts, then it is known as the median plane. Okay. Then we have coronal plane. Coronal plane divides the body into anterior and posterior parts. Okay. Then we have transverse plane. Transverse plane. Now here
Is always perpendicular to the sagittal.
equal halves, so there can be many coronal plane passing through one. Okay, then we have transverse plane. Transverse plane divide the body into upper and lower halves. So there can be many transverse plane now passing through the body. Okay, they also divide body into two unequal halves.
Dangerous, though I don't back down.